recently they have agreed to a ceasefire. However, I've seen like in the few days since that actually happened, that hasn't really meant that much in terms of the mosques. Al-Aqsa Mosque is still getting raided. There's still it doesn't really change that much in terms of the displacement of these Palestinians. So, Faz, as you wanted to talk about this, what was the main thing you
My
wanted to
main
touch
thing
on?
is, right, look, I'll be honest, I haven't shared many posts about Palestine.
Mm.
I didn't share a lot of posts about Black Lives Matter. I have friends who are from Palestine, Israel, Iraq, Syria, from also from black backgrounds. I look at it this way, right? I'm in a confusing state at the moment where I'm like, if I share, what does it actually do?
Mm.
What does it do for a child in Palestine who's just lost their parents? What does it do for him or her?
I think we've talked about this before about certainly in regards to Black Lives Matter. There was the period last year where everyone was just posting the black square, and it was literally why? Literally, what reason? It doesn't do any. It's almost insulting. That you think that's me done my black square, tick. That's my activism done for today. However, when you first said about I want to talk about whether sharing stuff is actually productive, I do think I have seen some stuff about in regards to what's going on at the moment. Obviously, certainly from the Palestinian side of things, Israel is bombing journalist buildings, which is preventing actual proper written and videoed media coming out. So in that sense, sharing the word does help, if that makes sense. So I think it's important not to necessarily be me sharing isn't going to do anything, but certainly I think just sharing stuff for the sake of sharing stuff, I think that's where it kind of comes into a bit of a why, for example, putting, I said, the whole black square thing, or whatever square, just putting the Palestinian flag on your feed, it might be showing. The thing is as well, I'm sure it's quite subjective as well, because I'm sure there are some Palestinian people in the diaspora who will see that and are like, oh, that's nice, people are showing solidarity. It might not actually do anything, but
I'll be honest with you, if I was in Palestine going through what they're going through, I'd be annoyed. I wouldn't like people sharing. My house is getting bombed. You're sharing on Instagram is not going to bring me food. What am I doing am I going to be alive the next hour?
Yeah.
And you're sharing on Instagram. I look at it this way, right? For example, taking a knee. It got to a point where it doesn't do it. It doesn't do anything. Some footballers, they stop taking the knee. Some athletes, they stop. And I agree. It doesn't do anything. I went to Black Lives Matter march, right? People on my story don't know. People on my Instagram don't know. Charity or charitable actions should be a 50-50 thing for me. 50% you do it for social media to encourage others, 50% for your own soul. You don't have to show everything, right? A lot of people if you're not sharing, you must be against it. No, it's not that I'm against it. I don't have to shout to the world, and me shouting to the world isn't actually helping. Have you donated 50 quid to any charity that supports Palestine?
Yeah,
Tell me that.
Not 50 quid, but yeah.
10 quid, right?
Yeah.
5 quid, whatever. Your share, what is that worth in actual currency for them, to be affected in some way, for them to get help in some way? The real people who can make change will not post a single thing or will not talk about a single thing. These are people not on your screens. The real people who can, the big corporations, the Boris Johnsons and all of them, the real people who can actually press a button, make a phone call and make some changes. That's who we need to be pressing on, really.
See, the thing is, I do agree with that, and the fact that I haven't posted much on Palestine either, but it was the same reason why I didn't post loads on the farmer protest that happened last year as well. It's still happening, because it's an echo chamber, like we spoke about, that it just circulates to your following, and that doesn't get out any further than that. But then I've seen, especially with relation to the Palestine stuff going on now, is a culture of blame mongering, quite a lot of if you're not posting, what are you doing? Like you said. Yeah. Posting on Instagram is not reflective of a donation or going out to a march and showing real solidarity. So that's why I've not posted, but I come on radio and I speak about it. Do you know what I mean? We are creating awareness here, and we're raising awareness in different ways, and we're donating money and stuff like that. So
even like showing like solidarity. Like I did see some people last year at the height of the like Black Lives Matter protests that were going to these protests that I know for a fact just went just so that they could
Oh
get
my
this
God,
like
100%.
Instagram video.
Oh, yeah,
of,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
like,
What about that girl
100%.
in Manchester who said she likes?
oh yeah,
Pretty girls support Palestine. That one.
no, it was,
No, the other one, the
I
white,
like
yeah,
black,
whatever, and
beat.
XYZ.
Yeah.
Yeah. She went viral.
Basically,
Oh, I think I missed that
basically
one.
she went up to the protest in Manchester with a sign that was like, "Oh, I love black people because I love black downstairs." So, and obviously it's like, I mean, I get why I think it's ridiculous. Like, you wouldn't have realized that that's not a good idea. I can recognize that her sentiments were probably in the right place.
Sure.
Just about. However, reducing black people to fetishization
Yeah.
like is not equating to showing solidarity and supporting Black Lives Matter. Like, it's complicated though, because at the same time it's like this whole like cancel culture thing. Like, are we just gonna like write people off that do that, or are we gonna like tell them this is wrong, and then if they learn from it, then we just move on?
There is a lot more proper way to approach subjects like this. Instead of putting on your Instagram a story like 10 times, adds up to what, 5 minutes. Write something to your MP.
See, this is the
Ask for a reply.
This is the thing though.
Go to your favorite celebrity that you keep sharing on Instagram, whose songs keep coming out. Pressure them, because they have a massive following. Their share is worth a lot more than your share. Ask them to go, like Marcus Rashford fought for free school meals. Let's press on Marcus Rashford to press on Boris Johnson for Palestine.
That's true, actually. Like, celebrities, yes. MP, I've learned over the course of the past few years from writing to it just doesn't do anything. Like, I sent so many like letters like about like issues that I was like really concerned about, and I just get the same mundane reply back saying, "Oh, I see why you'd be upset about this. However, blah 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 blah. Therefore, I support this and that. I'm not going to do anything." Like, if you've got an MP that ultimately doesn't really align with your views, take from that what you will. Like, there's not really that much they can do, but certainly the celebrity thing, I think, now you mention it, Marcus Rashford would be like, he's an inspiration in regards to what he's done. So yeah, certainly.
I mean, for example, let's take Drake, right? Drake is like the most biggest artist. You're telling me Drake can't pick up his phone and call Canada's main person who's international relations and ask them, can you do something about Palestine? Drake, you're telling me he can't make a post and how many?
I was gonna say one post or one Instagram story from Drake's Instagram account would like
100 million, something like that. But what I'm trying to say is, unite together and start a movement to press on the people who can make change. Don't unite together and just expect that your word is being shared, whereas the kid in Palestine doesn't know where his next meal is going to come from in the next hour. Press the people who can make changes. Don't feel crap because your friend is not sharing it, right? That's not the person who's actually going to make a change, respectfully. If they're doing a charity, if they're raising money, that's what you need to be supporting. If you have an MP, 10, 20, 30, 100 of you come together, write, a bunch of letters to them, press them. If you know a favorite celebrity who you keep sharing, press them. But you're, coming on to, let's say, me saying I don't share Palestine. Well, let's say I share it. What now? Let's say I donate 20 quid. What now? What now? I really want this to stop. Yeah. I want this to stop.
And it is as well, like, it's like, just because you haven't shared anything, like you said, doesn't mean that you haven't, like, done your bit in order to...
I went to BLM March. Does it mean racism ended? No, it didn't. Millions of people did the black picture thing. Does it mean racism ended? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. There's loads of, proper way. Like the fans who stormed Old Trafford. The football stadium.
So what were your thoughts on that then? Do you think that was like the right thing to do?
No, don't do that. Don't turn up to games when games open. Hit the owners where it hurts. Don't buy food. Go to the game. Let's say if you're a season ticket holder, go to the game, but don't buy water, don't buy crisp, don't buy nothing. Hit them where it hurts. Don't storm the game and the pitch and take selfies and whatever on the pitch thinking you're doing something. You're not doing nothing. Instead, you've actually affected the poor guards that work there. Who are now scared to even go to work next time. That's a traumatic situation to go through. Thousands of people marching through.
Yeah.
and throwing equipment and that.
Especially in light of what's happened in the past, like at footballing events
Yeah.
where people have stormed and that.
Yeah.
And again, like just to say, I'm not like, certainly I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the Hillsborough people, by the way. Not their fault. I'm just saying that obviously we all know what can happen when too many people are in one space at a time and things go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Don't cancel Carlos, please.
There is people know 100% what they can do to help in what way, but they choose to take social media because social media gives everyone a sense of power. They think that they are doing something when they're actually not.
The thing is, though, I suppose I'm just like, what do you think about the people that say aren't sharing anything, but then they just aren't doing anything? Like, is it our position to judge them for not doing that, or should we just respect that they
Respect it.
Yeah.
Respect it. Why? Respectfully, who are you to say anything to anyone? Who am I to say anything to anyone? Am I the most perfect human being in the world? Have I never committed a crime? Have I never committed a sin? So I can't say the same for that person. If that person chooses, it's all about your ethics and how you carry yourself as a human, right? If you're not trying to do that, then that's fine. That's your decision, right? That's your choice. I can't put pressure on you when someone, like I said, someone else could, and I'm not putting pressure on them.
And like, you don't know what someone's doing behind the scenes. Correct. Or what's going on in their life that they're just too busy with to, like, you know, share something to their Instagram story. That's not something I think anyone should get on to anyone else for, like an Instagram story. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Or a post. Yeah.
No, I mean not even in terms of like a post. I mean just in terms of like, say there was someone like in your friendship group that just wasn't participating in important conversations. I think especially,
Oh my God,
I think especially when it's someone who is not the one being oppressed. Say, for example, if in your friendship group where conversations about racism were happening and it was one of your white friends that just didn't seem to be engaging in the conversation or like owning up to like where they may have been prejudiced in the past or stuff like that, I think then that's a way maybe it is a case of like raising it with them. Like, but I suppose you can do it privately though. There's no point in going about it's not going about it like
way. Absolutely not. Those conversations are so important to be having. So when you do see that maybe someone's not engaging as much as they could be, that it is important to call it out in a polite way, like we said earlier, literally. But am I going to end a friendship over it? Probably not.
Let's try and educate people rather than calling people out, rather than hating on people. Let's try and create an environment of education for everyone. If you're not sharing, maybe you're not educated. Maybe you don't actually know what's going on in Palestine. Maybe you think Israel is actually innocent, fully innocent. That's maybe your thought. You need to be able to educate people. You're just sharing something and a random person has no clue what's it about.
Also, I don't know about everyone else, but kind of, I don't read half the stuff that's on my stories that I'm quite guilty of just like tap.
I know it's all the same thing, so I will just tap through. Genuinely, I will.
You read everything.
Yeah, I will observe everything to the core. I will take my time. I have like time slots where I'll sit there and observe every person's story, what they're posting, why they're posting. Because that's what I do. That's Planet Fast. That's what I have to do. I have to be clued up, to understand what's going on in the world. I can't claim that I'm woke and then not be woke.
We're probably coming to the end of the show now, but just for anyone listening, do you want to tell people where they can find you in Planet Faz?
Just search Planet Faz, you'll find me. That's it. And my Instagram handle, Faz1996. That's me. Hit me up, DM me with whatever thing you want to DM me. I'm open to conversations and interactions. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Any final messages?
Spread love and joy. Let's not spread hate. Educate your friends and family. Peace.